walang hanggaring saan patungo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang
mundo.
alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangad palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay,
Pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Tingog Party List, Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply,
Mabanglo Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply,
DB Construction and Supply, Kanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We-Ing Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Bertodazo,
Apex Mining Company Incorporated,
and Icon Builders and Supply.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, magtuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Sa
Today's reflection. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 12 says, "That the name of our Lord Jesus Christ may be glorified in you, and ye in him, according to the grace of our God and the Lord Jesus Christ." Many are longing to grow in grace. They pray over the matter and are surprised that their prayers are not answered. The Master has given them a work to do whereby they shall grow. Of what value is it to pray when there is need of work? The question is, are they seeking to save souls for whom Christ died? Spiritual growth depends upon giving to others the light that God has given to you. You are to put forth your best thoughts in active labor to do good and only good. In your family, in your church, and in your neighborhood.
In place of growing anxious with the thought that you are not growing in grace, just do every duty that presents itself. Carry the burden of souls in your heart, and by every conceivable means, seek to save the lost. Be kind, be courteous, be pitiful. Speak in humility of the blessed hope. Talk of the love of Jesus. Tell of his goodness, his mercy, and his righteousness. And cease to worry as to whether or not you are growing. Plants do not grow through any conscious effort. The plant is not in continual worriment about its growth. It just grows under the supervision of God. If we will consecrate heart and mind to the service of God, doing the work He has for us to do and walking in the footsteps of Jesus, our hearts will become sacred harps, every chord of which will send forth praise and thanksgiving to the Lamb sent by God to take away the sins of the world.
The Lord Jesus is our strength and happiness, the great storehouse from which, on every occasion, man may draw strength. As we study Him, talk of Him, become more and more able to behold Him, as we avail ourselves of His grace and receive the blessings He prefers us. We have something with which to help others. Filled with gratitude, we communicate to others the blessings that have been freely given us, thus receiving and imparting, we grow in grace.
May pagluban, yuta mong nagmadagayaon, mga anak mong mahigugmaon. Di paligong sa bayanihan, iumol sa panag-iusap. Sa tinuang may mabeya at sa pagtinabang may kalamluan. Gikan sa bubuhat, dapat de oro, tuburan sa paglaon. Sa dabawen yung mahuswagon, ang kaanyag mo makabibihan, talag sa una sa kahitasan, kabukiran sa lumaki alimahan, bunga sa karagayan. higugmaon. Ipalibot sa bayanihan, tinumol sa panaghiusap. Sa timuang may mapeya at sa pagtinabangan may kalambuan. Davao de Oro, kanimong nagamitan among kabulahanan. Davao de Oro, mapulawanong paraiso. Sa naghiusang Davaoenyo, ang kaanyang makabibihan, talag sa ongga sa sagkahitasan. Kabukiran sa lumagi alimahan, bunga sa kalagayan. Davao de Oro, kanimong nagamitan among kabulahanan. Davao de Oro, mapulawanong paraiso. Sa naghiusang Davaoenyo, Davao de Oro, Davao de Oro, dagat tuyutan, buhing bulawan. Davao de Oro, Davao de Oro, dagat tuyutan, buhing
One happy Wednesday, mga Z-Eskwela! Welcome to the first hour of Radyo Z-Eskwela. Siguradong masaya. Ito po si Teacher JL. And today is 10th of March 2021. Isang Wednesday na naman po, mga Z-Eskwela. And of course, we have another set of lesson presentations for today. And of course, makauban ako si Teacher Donna.
Yes, hello, Teacher J. Alma. Yung buntag kanimo si very beautiful Wednesday morning, mga kaskwala. And welcome to Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya.
As beautiful as you are,
Yes,
Teacher Donna.
thank you.
Right, so mga Z-Eskwela, how are you doing? I hope you are all healthy ngayong araw na ito and for the rest of the week, mga ka-Z-Eskwela. And naka-live po tayo sa ating tatlong Facebook pages. Teacher Donna.
Yes, you can send us your comments, your greetings, your questions and suggestions in our Facebook Live at 88.5 Z Radio, DepEd tayo Division of Davao de Oro, and Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro official Facebook pages.
Right, we do have YouTube channel, mga Z-Eskwela. We have Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. And of course, maaari po kayo mag-comment sa comment box po natin, comment boxes natin sa FB Live natin, the Z Radio 88.5 FM Division, DepEd tayo Division of Davao de Oro, and Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro. And you may text us. Numbers are, Teacher Donna.
Yes, you can send us your text messages just in case hindi po kayo makapag-tune in sa Facebook Live natin ngayon. Send us your questions at 0953-211-3492. Again, that's 0953-211-3492.
Our time right now, mga Z-Eskwela, 21 minutes after 10 o'clock in the morning. Time check is brought to us by Mackenzie Builders and Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated. You will be with us until 12 o'clock, and from 12 down to 2, you will be with teachers Maymay and Drew. So for today's lesson presentations, mga Z-Eskwela, Teacher Donna is going to walk through with you yung ating mga lesson presentations for today. Go ahead, Teacher Donna.
Yes, mga kaskwela, for today, pag-uusapan natin ang ating subject na science at makakasama natin sa unang bahagi ang teachers from Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, si Ma'am Rosalie A. Alcocer, along with their creative resource material developer, ni si Bonnie Jean P. Bernadas, Teacher 1 mula Attorney Orlando S. Romando National High School. At pag-uusapan natin sa Grade 7 Science, Plant and Animal Cells.
Right, and at 11 o'clock, we're gonna be having Ma'am or Sir Eliezer Bukas, Teacher 3 of Monte Vista National High School, and Ma'am Soshmita Dainara M. Relampagos of Andap National High School. They're going to be talking about understanding typhoons. It's grade 8 science.
Yes, noontime, makakasama niyo po sa inyong pananghalian sina Teacher Drew and Teacher Maymay for grade 9 science. Kasama ng ating content presenter na si Sir Noel D. Paran, Teacher 3 mula Lorenzo S. Sarmiento Senior National High School, along with his creative resource material developer, Ma'am Sheila Faye G. Mucos, Teacher 1 mula sa Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. And we will be talking for grade 9 science, formation of an ionic and covalent compound.
That's correct, Teacher Donna. And for our final lesson, mga Z-Eskwela, we're gonna be having grade 10 science. That's practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. That's gonna be presented by Sir Mildred P. Recto of Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School, and Ma'am Theresa V. Angostura of Monte Vista National High School. And that's all for our lessons for today, mga Z-Eskwela. And I hope our students are tuning in right now. And meron tayong attendance, Teacher Donna. What are they going to do, Teacher Donna?
Yes, so our learners, sa ating parents and guardians din, no, please be notified na meron tayong attendance in our comment box na nandun sa link sa ating comment section. So, just click the link at doon po kayo mag-sign in for your attendance.
Alright, let's begin our first lesson, mga Z-Eskwela. Enthusiastically hone your skills and delve deep to the wonders and infinite possibilities of the world of science on this exciting day. Kaya, Teacher Donna,
Tara na, magklase na ta!
Good day, our dear grade 7 science learners. How are you today? Welcome to another session of our School on Air in Science, where learning is fun and easy. I am glad to be with you again for another quarter of this amazing moments as we take up new insights and ideas. I am your teacher presenter, Teacher Rosalie, and together we will uncover the many wonders of science. Hello, learners! I hope you all have taken your breakfast. Eating enough nutrients as part of a varied diet is required for the health and function of all cells. Healthy cells mean good functioning cells. Are you excited to learn something new today? That's good! So, let's start! This time, we will take up Quarter 2, Module number 4 and discuss a new lesson about plant and animal cells. Kindly check your modules, notebooks, and pens. Please join me this morning for another episode of Learning in Science. Find yourself a quiet space where you can comfortably sit as we begin our lesson. As a learner, you must learn to become responsible of your own learning. Take time to read, understand, and perform the different activities in the module. Before going through, here are some reminders. As you go through with the different activities of this module, be reminded of the following. Number 1, use the module with care. Do not write anything on this module. Remember, other learners can still reuse this. Do not forget to answer, "Let us try." These questions checks your previous knowledge of the lesson. Number 3, read instructions carefully before doing each task. Number 4, always observe honesty in answering the questions. Number 5, finish the task at hand. check and review before proceeding to the next task. And lastly, return this module to your teacher once you are through, so your teacher can keep track of your progress. If you encounter any difficulty in answering the task in this module, do not hesitate to consult your teacher or facilitator. Always bear in mind that you are not alone. We hope that through this material, you will experience meaningful learning and gain a deep understanding of the relevant competencies. You can do it. To start with our new lesson, we will have a short recap of your previous lesson on the levels of biological organization. To check how well you remembered, here is the instruction. Study Figure 1, showing the different pictures representing the levels of organization in an organism labeled A, B, C, D, and E. Rearrange the images and provide the correct order of biological organization. I will give you 20 seconds to try to answer this quiz. If you answer D, C, B, A, and E, then you are correct. The cell is the first level, which is the basic structural unit of life. The tissue is the next level, which is made of cells that perform a specific task. Organ is the next level, a system of tissues that work together to perform tasks of a larger scale. The organ system is next, which is made up of group of organs that work together to carry out specific body functions. And the organism. An organism, in this case, is a child, is a self-contained individual that is made up of different organ systems. Again, the correct order is D, cell, C, tissue, B, organ, A, organ system, and E, organism. This module has two parts. For this episode, we will go through Lesson 1. The first part is comparing plant and animal cells. The Lesson 1 objective is to differentiate plant cells from animal cells according to the presence or absence of certain organelles. After going through Lesson 1, you are expected to identify the organelles of a plant and animal cell, describe the functions carried out by each organelle, and explain the similarities and differences between animal and plant cells. Let us now answer the "let us try" part. Write the letter of your answer to the following questions. Number 1. Which of the following parts allow different activities of the cell to happen? A. Cytoplasm, B. Lysosome, C. Vacuole, D. Vesicle. The answer is letter A. Cytoplasm. Number 2. Which of the following functions will not take place if a plant cell's chloroplast is damaged? A. Protect the cell. B. Make food for the cell. C. Excrete waste materials. D. Give instruction for the cell to reproduce. The answer? Letter B. Make food for the cell. Number 3. Which part allows and prevents substances to go in and out of the cell? The answer? Plasma membrane. Number 4. What part of the cell stores water and maintains its rigidity? The answer? Vacuole. The table below enumerates the parts that are present or absent in 2 kinds of cells. Which is a plant cell? The correct answer is cell A. Which is an animal cell? The answer? Cell B. If you are asked to identify an unknown slide, which of the following could help you identify if it holds an animal cell? 1. Absence of centriole. 2. Irregular shape. 3. Presence of cell wall. 4. Angular and rigid shape. 5. Absence of chloroplast. A. 1 and 3. B. 2 and 5. C. 1 and 4. D. 3 and 4. The answer? Letter B. 2 and 5. Irregular shape and angular and rigid shape. Number 8. Based on the picture given on your module, which part of this cell functions for the excretion of waste materials? The answer? Number 2. Lysosome. Number 9. Which is the control center of this cell? The answer? Number 8. Nucleus. Number 10. Which part of this cell plays a role during cell division? The answer, number 7, centrioles. Get all the correct answers? Good job, kids! Don't worry, when we come back, you will learn more about the topic as you get to take up different ideas and concepts of the new lesson after a short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Hello again, our dear grade 7 science learners. Are you all set? Please make sure to have your notes and pens ready. Kindly turn your modules on Let's Study part. Today, our topic is comparing plant and animal cells. All organisms, big or small, consist of cells. Some organisms are single-celled, composed of only one cell. Others are multicellular, possessing many cells that work together to form an organism. The moss plant, for example, is made up of hundreds and thousands of cells. Your body has billions of cells, while very large animals like elephants have trillions. Trees in a forest, fish in the river, horseflies on a farm, worms in the soil, all these plants and animals are made up of the building blocks we call cells. In the previous module, you learned that organisms have organ systems composed of different organs. These organs are made up of even smaller parts, namely tissues, and the smallest of which are the cells. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function of all life forms. It is the building block of all living organisms. It is a membrane-bound unit that contains the fundamental molecules of life. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function of all life forms. Cells may be unicellular or multicellular. A unicellular organism, also known as a single-celled organism, consists of a single cell. There are millions of kinds, from yeasts to algae and bacteria. Multicellular organisms are organisms that consist of more than one cell, in contrast to unicellular organism. All species of animals, land plants, and most fungi are multicellular, as are many algae. A cell has 3 basic parts: the nucleus, cell or plasma membrane, and the cytoplasm. The nucleus is a part of a cell which is easily seen through a microscope. It is a very important part because it controls all the activities of the other parts that occur within the cell. The cell membrane encloses the cell and separates what is inside it from its environment. It controls what goes in and what goes out of the cell. The plasma membrane or the cell membrane allows the entry of materials needed by the cell and eliminates those which are considered wastes. The cytoplasm consists of a jelly-like substance where all the other parts of the cell are located. It does not, however, include the area where the nucleus is found. Many different activities of the cell occur in the cytoplasm. Vacuoles are present in both plant and animal cells. In plant cells, they are large and usually occupy more than half of the cell space. They play a role in storing nutrients and increasing cell size during growth. Some plant vacuoles contain poisonous substances. Vacuoles also store water, thereby maintaining rigidity to cells and provide support for plants to stand upright. Plant cell vacuoles are responsible for the crisp appearance of fresh vegetables. Mitochondria provide the energy a cell needs to move, divide, produce secretory products, and contract. In short, they are the power centers of the cell. The Golgi apparatus is a membrane-bound structure with a single membrane. It is actually a stock of membrane-bound vesicles that are important in packaging macromolecules for the transport elsewhere in the cell. The endoplasmic reticulum can either be smooth or rough, and in general, its function is to produce proteins for the rest of the cell to function. A ribosome functions as a micromachine for making proteins. Lysosomes work like the digestive system to break down or digest proteins, acids, carbohydrates, dead organelles, and other unwanted materials. The main function of a centriole is to help with cell division and present only in animal cells. The centrioles are found in pairs and move towards the poles, opposite ends of the nucleus when it is time for cell division. The cell wall is made of stiff material that forms the outermost part of plant cells. It gives shape and protection to them. Chloroplasts are organelles that conduct photosynthesis, where the photosynthetic pigment chlorophyll captures the energy from sunlight. To deeply understand the concepts of the different organelles and structures of the cell, kindly turn your modules on Let Us Practice. These activities are exercises that help you discover and understand the concept. Study closely Figure 1 and 2. These are diagrammatic presentations of plant and animal cell and their parts. Compare the shape of a plant cell with that of an animal cell as shown in Figure 1 and Figure 2. Using the table, identify the organelles found in plant and animal cells. Your teacher will check your answers for this activity. Please use a separate sheet for your answers. To help you discover and gives you more clear ideas, an activity is provided for you to practice more. In Activity A, using the Venn diagram, cite the similarities and differences between the plant and animal cells. Fill the left outer part of the diagram with a list of the organelles only present in a plant cell. Next, fill the outer right part of the diagram with a list of organelles only found in animal cell. And lastly, complete the diagram by filling out the middle part with the organelles that are present in both plant and animal cells. I will give you 30 seconds to answer Activity A. Your timer starts now. Time's up! Are you done? Very good. Then let us try to check your answers of Activity A. The following organelles, nucleus, mitochondrion or mitochondria, plasma membrane or cell membrane, Golgi bodies or Golgi apparatus, vacuole, endoplasmic reticulum, cytoplasm, lysosomes, and ribosomes are both present in plant and animal cell. Only the cell wall and the chloroplast can be found in plant cell. And centriole is the organelle present only in an animal cell. Here's another activity for practice. Activity B. The scrambled letters in the first column refer to organelles found in plant and animal cells. Arrange them by using the description of its function in the second column as a clue. Number 1. Organelles that sort, modify, package, and distribute cell products to where they are needed. Number 2. Contains powerful enzymes that digest food particles. Number 3. Transports protein to different parts of the cell. Number 4. Functions during cell division. Number 5. The clear, thick, jelly-like substance inside the cell membrane that contains other organelles. Number 6. It serves as the control center of the cell. Number 7 contains the chlorophyll and is found only in the plant cell. Number 8 involved in making protein. Number 9 serves as powerhouse of the cell. Number 10 encloses the cell and separates what is inside it from its environment. The correct answers are the following. Number 1, Golgi bodies. 2, lysosomes. 3, endoplasmic reticulum. 4, centrioles. 5, cytoplasm. 6, nucleus. 7, chloroplast. 8, ribosomes. 9, mitochondria. And 10, plasma membrane. To summarize the lesson, here is another activity to help you recall. Please follow through your module in the Let Us Remember part. Ready? Let us see how well you can recall what you have learned about the cell. The first column shows the list of cell structures. Put a check mark if the structure is present and a cross mark or an X if the structure is absent under the column for plant and animal cell. You have 30 seconds to answer the table. And your timer starts now. Can you still remember all the structures or organelles present in plant and animal cells? Great! Now let us try to check the activity. Centriole is the structure absent in a plant cell. This means that you should put an X mark on the centriole for plant cell. And the cell wall and the chloroplast are absent in an animal cell. This means that you should put an X mark on the cell wall and the chloroplast on the animal cell column. Way to go, kids! You did a good job today. Let us do more tasks when we return after a short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Kanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
We're back, learners! For the last part of our session, we will try another activity to test your gained knowledge. Please open your modules on Let Us Assess part and try to answer the questions given. Please have your modules, notes, and pens ready as I read each item, and we will check your answers right after each question. Ready? Number 1. How is a plant cell similar to an animal cell? A. Both have nuclei, chloroplast, and cytoplasm. B. Both have cell walls, nuclei, and cell membrane. C. Both have nuclei, cytoplasm, and cell membranes. D. Both have cell walls, chloroplasts, and cell membranes. Answer: letter C. Both have nuclei, cytoplasm, and cell membranes. For item number 2, refer to the table found on your module, showing a comparison between 3 kinds of cell. Which 2 cells have come from the same organism? A and B, B and C, A and C, D, A, B, and C. The answer, letter C, cells A and C. Number 3. Which of the following statements about cells are true? 1. A cell is the smallest unit of life. 2. Not all living things are made up of cells. 3. Different cells have different shapes and functions. 4. As an organism grows bigger, the cells in the body increase in size. A. 1 and 3, B. 3 and 4, C. 1, 2, and 4, D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The answer, A. 1 and 3. Number 4. Which of the structures can be found in all plant cells? 1. Cell wall, 2. Cell membrane, 3. Cytoplasm, 4. Chloroplast. A. 1 and 3, B. 1, 2, and 3, C. 1, 2, and 4, D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The answer, letter D. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 5. Which of the following is not found in the cells of an onion plant? A. Chloroplast, B. Cell wall, C. Vacuole, D. Centriole. The answer, letter D, centriole. Number 6. Which of the following is not a part of the cell? A. Cell membrane, B. Enzyme, C. Cytoplasm and organelles, D. Nucleus. The answer, letter B, enzyme. Number 7. All of these are found in an animal cell except A. Cytoplasm, B. Nucleus, C. Plastids, D. Centrioles. The answer, letter C, plastids. Number 8. This is the organelle which directs the cell division. A. Cytoplasm, B. Plastids, C. Endoplasmic reticulum, D. Nucleus. The answer, letter D, nucleus. Number 9. Adding iodine solution to the onion cell preparation makes the cells A. Bigger, B. Smaller, C. Less visible, D. More visible. The answer, letter D, more visible. Number 10. Which of the following is not found in an animal cell? A. Mitochondria, B. Cell wall, C. Vacuole, D. Chloroplast. The answer, letter D, chloroplast. This time, we will check how well you mastered the lesson with this another activity. Let us enhance. Make your own model of a cell at home. Prepare any food like cake and fruits as your plant or animal cell model. For your cell structures, you could use chocolates, jelly, candies, and biscuits. Make your edible cell creative and attractive. After finishing your edible cell at home, take a picture and paste a picture of your edible cell on your answer sheets for your teacher to check it. You can serve your yummy dessert to your family after the activity while explaining to them each part. Have fun! You have learned that cell is the basic unit of life, the basic building block of all living things. Each part and structures of the cell plays an important and specific role. Cells rely on their organelles to function well and survive. These little organs keep working for the cell to stay alive. Hooray! Good job, learners! Thank you for doing your best in each activities. Whenever you feel sad, just remember there are billions of cells in your body and all they care about is you. Thank you for listening, learners. This is Teacher Rosalie A. Alcocer of Nabuntura National Comprehensive High School with my content developer, Teacher Bonnie Jean P. Bernadas of Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. Until our next meeting, good day and God bless.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, ganun nga siya'y susulong. Kaya, halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Nagbabalik po muli ang Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Nakatutok pa rin po kayo dito sa amin. Kayo po ang inyong teachers on air. I am Teacher JL.
And I am Teacher Donna.
Oras na to mga ka-Z, 11 after 11. Oras sa tudsata ng Mackenzie Builders and Master Construction and Supplies. Teacher Donna, we're already done with our first lesson presentation for today with Ma'am Rosalie A. Alcocer and Ma'am Bonnie Jean P. Bernadas. That's grade 7 Science, right? So congratulations po sa ating dalawang mga guro, Teacher Donna. And of course, bago tayo pumunta sa ating second presentation for today, Teacher Donna, alam natin na meron tayong mga viewers na nakikinig, nanonood sa atin ngayon. And ilan sa
Babatiin natin. Yes. Okay. To Ma'am Josephine Sumabal Gasang, good morning. To Reynelda Campasas, good morning, Ma'am Donna. Yes, hello, Tema. Yung buntag parent namin to sa San Antonio. To, sabi din ni Ma'am Josephine Gasang, good morning po, watching from Mako Heights Central Elementary School, Mako South District. Mayong pagpaminaw, Ma'am Josephine. And to our sharer, Ma'am Merla Munoz, good morning, watching from Mako Heights Central Elementary School. And to Ma'am Thelma Cadiz, Bataluna Nanale, good morning sa ating mga hosts and presenters today. And to our top fan, Edith Laurel, good morning. Sabi ni Ma'am Thelma Nanali, Rosalie Amante Alcocer, congrats. And we want to say hello to Estela Dumagon, to Eleni Rosales, good morning, ma'am, watching from Als San Miguel. And of course, to Judy Selvosa, hello, mahing pagpaminaw.
Happy watching also to Ma'am Evelyn Lim Obeja from Mako Heights Central Elementary School. Ma'am L. Leah, good morning, watching from Mako Central Elementary School. Ma'am or Sir Ali Dawami, thank you so much for watching. Ma'am Estela Dumaga and Sir Rolando Malio of SAES.
Isa amin. Hi, Sir Mario, may pagpaminaw.
Right, happy listening to you. Ma'am Thelma and Ma'am Eleni Rosales, Josephine Sumabal Gasang, thank you very much for watching. Ma'am Reynelda Campasas, Ma'am Merla Alcontina Munoz, watching from Mako Heights. Ma'am Rosario Obeja Bangoy and Ma'am Jama Gesta, right? Dagan salamat sa papaminaw. You can do the same too, guys. Of course, atong text line nato 0953-211-3492. That's again 0953-211-3492. And we are now on our second hour, mga ka-Z-Eskwela, and because we are already in our second hour, we will be giving to you our second lesson presentation for today. What is it, Donna?
Yes, we have our grade 8 science. Our content presenter is Eliezer Rebucas, teacher 3 from Monte Vista National High School, along with his creative resource material developer na si Ma'am Sushmita Dayanara M. Relampagos from Andap National High School. And we will be talking for grade 8 science, understanding typhoons.
Alright, time for us to enthusiastically hone our skills and delve deep to the wonders and infinite possibilities of the world of science on this Exciting Day. Kaya Teacher Donna,
tara na, magklase na ta.
A pleasant morning, everyone, and welcome to our session in science through radio-based instruction, especially to all grade 8 students who are listening to us right now on radios at home and joining with us on our Facebook Live. I am your radio teacher, Mr. Eliezer M. Rebucas from Monte Vista National High School, and with me is Ma'am Sushmita Dayanara M. Relampagos from Andap National High School. We are here, happy to serve you for 45 minutes of bringing you with fun and exciting lessons in Science Grade 8. So, what are you waiting for? Sit back, relax, and join us as we explore the world, discovering the development of typhoons and how it is affected by landforms and bodies of water. We are now on the 4th module for second quarter in Science Grade 8, and we hope that you are still enjoying by taking down notes on different concepts heard audibly and seen through online. Once again, we are here to bring with you another lessons in science, and we hope you had already prepared your pens, record notebooks, and modules, and be sure that you already ate your lunch as we go through our discussion. So, are you ready for today's lesson? That's good to know. And now, let's do this! We are now on a new topic for the second quarter in Science Grade 8. But before we will start and introduce to you our topic this morning, let us first have a quick icebreaker of the previous ideas and information you have learned based from your previous experiences. In grade 7, you have learned concepts that help you understand about why the wind blows. The wind is caused by differences in atmospheric pressure. When a difference in atmospheric pressure exists, air moves from the higher to the lower pressure area, resulting in winds of various speeds. Another concept is why monsoons occur. The primary cause of monsoons is the difference between annual temperature trends over land and sea. The apparent position of the sun with reference to the earth oscillates from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn. Lastly, what is Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ? The Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ is the region that circles the earth near the equator where the trade of winds of the northern and southern hemispheres come together. All of these are associated with understanding the concepts of typhoon. In this lesson, we begin by asking, how do landforms and bodies of water affect typhoon? Let's recall some of the unforgettable events or scenarios when a natural phenomenon strikes, like typhoon. Did you still remember, or can you recall how many typhoons entered Philippines for the past few years? Or can you recall some of the strongest typhoons that the countries experienced previously? Here are some of the strongest recorded typhoons entered the Philippines, one of which is Typhoon Haiyan in 2013. In the Philippines, it is called Super Typhoon Yolanda. Super Typhoon Yolanda had 10-minute sustained wind speeds of 230 km per hour and 1-minute sustained wind speeds of up to 315 km per hour, causing widespread destruction and storm surge. The provinces of Samar and Leyte reported the largest number of fatalities, with 5,877 alone taking place in eastern Visayas. Below are some of the evidences captured after the typhoon strikes. Another is Super Typhoon Ferdy. Super Typhoon Ferdy is the second most powerful typhoon in 2016 and considered as one of the most intense tropical cyclones on record, impacting the Batanes in the Philippines in September 2016. It became a super typhoon early on September 12, as it passed through the Luzon Strait, ultimately reaching its peak intensity on September 13, 2016, with 1-minute sustained wind speed of 300 km per hour. Shortly afterwards, it passed directly over the island of Itbayat. Lastly, the Super Typhoon Rolly in 2020. It was an extremely powerful tropical cyclone that made landfall as a Category 5 equivalent super typhoon on Catanduanes in the Philippines and became the strongest landfalling tropical cyclone on record. Rolly maintained Category 5 strength for over a day before making landfall on Catanduanes at peak intensity with 10-minute sustained winds of 220 km per hour and 1-minute sustained winds of 315 km per hour. There you have it, learners. Some of the recorded strongest typhoons entered the Philippines for the past few years. Now, this morning, we will be discussing new topic for the quarter, particularly understanding typhoon. Again, we will be discussing with you new topic for the quarter, particularly understanding typhoon. And we hope that at the end of this lesson, You will be able to explain how typhoon develops and how it is affected by landforms and bodies of water. Again, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain how typhoon develops and how it is affected by landforms and bodies of water. Are you ready for the discussion of the topic this morning? But wait, for us to be guided also as to the topic this morning and to test your prior knowledge on today's lesson, let's answer first some exercise found in your module, pages 2 to 3. Again, let's answer first some exercise found in your module, pages 2 to 3. And you are given 5 seconds to answer each of the 10 questions. Let us read the instruction first. Choose the letter of the correct answer and write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Again, choose the letter of the correct answer and write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Question number 1. Where do typhoons form? Where do typhoons form? A. Lakes. B. Ocean. C. Rivers. D. Streams. Question number 2. Which weather disturbance develops in the Northwest Pacific Ocean? Which weather disturbance develops in the Northwest Pacific Ocean? A. Blizzard. B. Tornado. C. Tropical cyclone. D. Tsunami. Question number 3. What is the other term for tropical cyclone? What is the other term for tropical cyclone? A. Earthquake. B. Tsunami. C. Typhoon. D. Wildfire. Question number 4. What public storm warning signal or PSWS has a wind speed of 160 km per hour? What public storm warning signal or PSWS has a wind speed of 160 km per hour? A. 1. B. 2. C. 3. D. 4. Question number 5. Where do typhoons that hit the Philippines mostly originate? Where do typhoons that hit the Philippines mostly originate? A. Pacific Ocean. B. South China Sea. C. Indian Ocean. D. West Philippine Sea. Question number 6. What does ITCZ mean? What does ITCZ mean? A. Intertropical Convergence Zone. B. Intratropical Converging Zone. C. Intertropical Converging Zone. D. Intertropical Convergence Zone. Question number 7. Which tropical cyclone has a wind speed greater than 200 km per hour? Which tropical cyclone has a wind speed greater than 200 km per hour? A. Super typhoon. B. Typhoon. C. Tropical storm. D. Tropical depression. Question number 8. How would you describe the condition within the typhoon's eye? How would you describe the condition within the typhoon's eye? A. Calm. B. Intense. C. Sunny. D. Violent. Question number 9. Which agency takes charge of giving information about incoming typhoon? Which agency takes charge of giving information about incoming typhoon? A. Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR. B. Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PHIVOLCS. C. National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC. D. Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAG-ASA. Question number 10. What will you do if a typhoon will hit your place? What will you do if a typhoon will hit your place? A. Store bread and milk. B. Hide in a room without windows. C. Watch TV and share on Facebook. D. Leave the area and proceed to the evacuation center. And this time, we will now check your work. The following are the answers of the given pretest from 1 to 10. Let's check your answers. Number 1, letter B. Number 2, letter C. Number 3, letter C. Number 4, letter C. Number 5, letter A. Number 6, letter A. Number 7, letter A. Number 8, letter A. Number 9, letter D. And number 10, we have letter D. Well done, learners! How are your scores, my dear students? Do not worry, because there's still more like this when we are going to tackle these things later on as we go through our discussion. For now, stay tuned in and just relax, because after a short break, we will begin our discussion on the development of typhoon and how it is affected by landforms and bodies of water.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I'm back, learners. This time, we will discuss it with you, the concepts of the typhoon's development and how it is affected by landforms and bodies of water. Earlier, we have presented it with you, the 3 most powerful typhoons that strikes and ever landed in the Philippines. The following are Super Typhoon Yolanda, Super Typhoon Ferdy, and Super Typhoon Rolly. This type of phenomenon, considered as one of the most disastrous types of phenomenon, wherein it results to thousands loss of lives, infrastructure, businesses, crops, and even properties. But how this type of phenomenon develops or forms? Being in the tropics, the Philippines is visited by typhoons almost every year. These typhoons are also referred to as tropical cyclones. Some of these typhoons leave minimal damages, but a number have already been listed in history as devastating. Not a single part of our country is exempted from these forces of nature. A typhoon is a type of large storm system having a circular or spiral system of violent winds, typically hundreds of kilometers or miles in diameter. Or it is a system of thunderstorms moving in a circular direction. That is why it is very important to have sufficient knowledge on tropical cyclones for our own benefits. A According to Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA, there were 13 tropical cyclones that entered the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR in 2019. But why Philippines is prone to tropical cyclones? It is because of its geographical location, which generally produce heavy rains, flooding of large areas, strong winds, which results in heavy casualties to human life, and destructions to crops and even properties. But how tropical cyclone forms or develop? Cyclone forms when sea surface temperature is at least 26 degrees Celsius from the surface up to a depth of at least 50 meters. Again, cyclone forms when sea surface temperature is at least 26 degrees Celsius from the surface up to a depth of at least 50 meters. What are the things to consider in the formation of tropical cyclone? Here are some of the events on the formation of tropical cyclone. Tropical cyclone forms when there is humid, warm air forms over the warm ocean surface. Second, water vapor rises with warm air. Third, water vapor rises, cools, and condenses, forming into clouds. Fourth, condensation releases heat into the air, and heat evaporates more water. Last, warm air keeps rising, and winds from the surrounding moves in. More so, tropical cyclones are categorized based on their intensity and speed of rotating winds and clouds. The cyclones can intensify into tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical storm, typhoon, and super typhoon. As the winds strengthen or weaken, the category is upgraded or downgraded accordingly. Here is the classification of tropical cyclone with its corresponding wind speed. Tropical cyclones are categorized based on their intensity and speed on rotating winds and clouds. Tropical cyclone category. Number 1, we have tropical depression with the maximum sustained winds in kilometer per hour up to 61 km per hour. Tropical storm 62 to 88 km per hour. Severe tropical storm 89 to 117 km per hour. Typhoon 118 to 220 km per hour. And super typhoon exceeding 220 km per hour. Consequently, the term typhoon is common in the northwestern part of the Pacific Ocean, while hurricane is common within the northeastern part of the Pacific Ocean and also in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. In the Philippines, we call all categories of tropical cyclone as bagyo, may it be a tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical storm, typhoon, or super typhoon. When a tropical cyclone enters the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR, the PAGASA will announce public storm warning signals or PSWS. The lifting or assigning of public storm warning signals in a certain place usually happens before the corresponding atmospheric conditions exist over the locality. This is because the aim of the signal is to warn the people of the approaching danger that the tropical cyclone may bring. It is important also to remember that the appropriate interval of the range of the wind speeds for every signal is only valid when PAGASA puts the signal number for the first time. Below are the definition of terms used in this concept. Here is the revised public storm warning signals from Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA. The revised public storm warning signals were categorized into 5 numerical indicators based on the time, wind speed in km per hour, and impacts of the wind. Public storm warning signal number 1, 36 hours, with a wind speed 30 to 60 km per hour. Impacts of the wind, no damage to very light damage. Public storm warning signal number 2, 24 hours lead time, 61 to 120 km per hour wind speed, light to moderate damage. Public storm warning signal number 3, 18 hours lead time with wind speed 121 to 170 km per hour, moderate to heavy damage. Public storm warning signal number 4, 12 hours lead time, 171 to 220 km per hour wind speed, heavy to very heavy damage. And public storm warning signal number 5, 12 hours lead time with more than 220 kilometers per hour wind speed, very heavy to widespread damage. But what to do during the typhoon? And when authorities lifted a public storm warning signal announcement, here's the thing to consider when typhoon occurs. In public storm warning signal number 1, listen to your radio for more information about weather disturbance. Check the ability of the house to withstand strong winds and strengthen it if necessary. The people are advised to monitor the latest severe weather bulletin issued by Pag-asa every 6 hours. In the meantime, business may be carried out as usual except when flood occurs. In public storm warning signal number 2, special attention should be given to the latest position, the direction, and speed movement as the cyclone may intensify and move towards the locality. The general public, especially people traveling by sea and air, are cautioned to avoid unnecessary risks. Protect properties before signals are upgraded. Board up windows or put storm shutters in place and securely fasten it. Stay at home. More so, in public storm warning signal number 3, keep your radio on and listen to the latest news about typhoon. Everybody is advised to stay in safe and strong houses. Evacuate from low-lying areas to higher grounds. Stay away from coasts and riverbanks. And watch out for the passage of the eye of the typhoon. For public storm warning signal number 4, stay in safe houses or evacuation centers. All travels and outdoor activities should be cancelled. Keep listening to your radio to the latest news about the typhoon. Moreover, in public storm warning signal number 5, everyone is tasked to stay in safe houses or evacuation centers. And lastly, all travels and outdoor activities should be cancelled. There you have it, learners, the things to consider when typhoon occurs and when authorities raise up relevant announcement for security. Tropical cyclone is considered as one of the most destructive natural disasters that affects the lives of many people and causes tremendous loss of properties. We are done with the first lesson on the development of typhoon, and we hope that you learn the concepts of how typhoon forms or developed. Now, let's move on to how landforms and bodies of water affect typhoon. Now try to look at this example. We have there a blue-colored portion representing the bodies of water and light brown represents the land. From the figure presented, where did the 4 tropical cyclone forms and end? As you observed, most of the tropical cyclone forms in the ocean or bodies of water. A tropical cyclone can only form over the oceans of the world except in the South Atlantic Ocean and Southeastern Pacific due to its lower air temperature. Ocean in the tropics and landforms in nearby countries can affect the formation of typhoons. The bodies of water help in the formation and development of a typhoon. In order for a typhoon to develop, it needs the abundance of warm water, high humidity, optimal location, ocean water with a temperature of 26.5 degrees Celsius, spanning from the surface up to the depth of at least 50 meters, and low vertical wind shear. Warm bodies of water are the main factors in the formation of a typhoon. Again, warm bodies of water are the main factors in the formation of a typhoon. The air in the bodies of water is warm due to the evaporation of water. This warm air builds up or increases the wind speed of a typhoon. Typhoon gains energy from warm ocean water and loses its overcold water. On the other hand, not just only bodies of water affect typhoon formation, but landforms also affect typhoon as an obstacle. Landforms affects wind direction, and therefore it disrupts the spin of a typhoon. Landforms like tall mountain ranges act as an obstacle to traveling air masses, forcing them to rise over the peaks. Typhoon weakens because of lack of water to supply the needed moisture in the air. When this happens, the air temperature drops. As the water vapor cools, fog forms, and rain may fall on the windward side of the mountain. A typhoon is likely to dissolve or decrease its wind speed when it passes over a mountain or a mountain range. Again, a typhoon is likely to dissolve or decrease its wind speed when it passes over a mountain or a mountain range. The cold air on top of a mountain prevents the building up of a typhoon, which needs warmer air. How about this moving example? What causes the spinning movement of a certain typhoon? Do you know that storms that forms north of the equator spins counterclockwise, and storms south of the equator spins clockwise? The spinning movement of a certain typhoon is because of the Earth's rotation on its axis. Again, the spinning movement of a certain typhoon is because of the Earth's rotation on its axis. Well, that's all for today's grade learners. We are finally done with our discussion, so I guess you are ready now to take the assessment part of this lesson. After the short break, kindly prepare any sheets of paper for our evaluation. Good luck and God bless. Stay tuned.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Now we are down to the last part of the session, the assessment. But before we proceed to the assessment proper, let's have a little summary of the concepts that was discussed a while ago. As we all know, a typhoon is a type of a large storm system having a circular or spiral system of violent winds, typically hundreds of kilometers or miles in diameter. It is a system of thunderstorm moving in a circular direction. Philippines is prone to tropical cyclone. It is because of its geographical location. Tropical cyclones are categorized based on their intensity and speed of rotating winds and clouds. The cyclones can intensify into tropical depression, tropical storm, severe tropical storm, typhoon, and super typhoon. Typhoon is common in the northwestern part of the Pacific Ocean, while a hurricane is common within the northeastern part of the Pacific Ocean and also in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. We discussed also some of the acronym like PAR, which means Philippine Area of Responsibility, PAG-ASA, Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, PSWS or Public Storm Warning Signals. When a tropical cyclone enters the PAR, the PAG-ASA will announce public storm warning signals. The lifting or assigning of public storm warning signals in a certain place usually happens before the corresponding atmospheric conditions exist over the locality. We also discussed different factors affecting the formation of a typhoon, and one of which is the bodies of water. Warm bodies of water are the main factors in the formation of a typhoon. On the other hand, a typhoon is likely to dissolve or decrease its wind speed when it passes over a mountain or a mountain range. Storms that forms north of the equator spins counterclockwise, and storms south of the equator spins clockwise, and this is because of Earth's rotation on its axis. And now it's assessment time, and may I request everyone to please prepare your pens and any sheet of paper for the evaluation. Your task will be: choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Again, choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Are you ready now to take the test? Question number 1. What is the name of the tropical cyclone formed in the northwestern part of the Pacific Ocean? What is the name of the tropical cyclone formed in the northwestern part of the Pacific Ocean? A. Hurricane. B. Tornado. C. Tsunami. D. Typhoon. Question number 2. In what year did Super Typhoon Yolanda hit the Philippines? In what year did Super Typhoon Yolanda hit the Philippines? A. 2011. B. 2012. C. 2013. D. 2014. Question number 3. In what direction does a tropical cyclone usually move? In what direction does a tropical cyclone usually move? A. Northeast. B. Northwest. C. Southeast. D. Southwest. Question number 4. What is the wind speed of severe tropical storm? What is the wind speed of severe tropical storm? A. 62 to 88 km per hour. B. 89 to 117 km per hour. C. 118 to 220 km per hour. Or D. More than 220 km per hour. Question number 5. During a typhoon, public storm warning signals or PSWS is issued over the affected area. What is the impact of the wind when PSWS signal is 4? During a typhoon, public storm warning signal or PSWS is issued over the affected area. What is the impact of the wind when PSWS signal is 4? A. No damage to light damage. B. Light to moderate damage. C. Moderate to heavy damage. Or D. Heavy to very heavy damage. Question number 6. What should be done after a typhoon? What should be done after a typhoon? A. Store sufficient amount of food. B. Always ready with the emergency kit. C. Keep monitoring the typhoon's movement. D. Boil water before drinking as it may be contaminated. Question number 7. Tropical cyclones are not formed on which part of the Pacific Ocean? Tropical cyclones are not formed on which part of the Pacific Ocean? A. Northeastern. B. Northwestern. C. Southeastern. D. Southwestern. Question number 8. What happens to a typhoon when it makes a landfall? What happens to a typhoon when it makes a landfall? A. Gets weaker. B. Stays longer. C. Gets stronger. D. Moves faster. Question number 9. How do landforms affect typhoon? How do landforms affect typhoon? A. No effect at all. B. Increase wind direction. C. Serves as a fuel to traveling air masses, making typhoons stronger. D. Serves as an obstacle for traveling air masses, making typhoon weaker. Question number 10. Which statement is incorrect? Which statement is incorrect? A. Warm bodies of ocean water are the main source in the formation of typhoon. B. Warm bodies of ocean water build up, increasing the wind speed of typhoon. C. Air from surrounding areas with lower air pressure pushes to the high pressure area. D. Tropical cyclone does not form in the South Atlantic Ocean due to its lower temperature. Now this time, we will now check your work. The following are the answers of the given 10 questions from the assessment. For number 1, letter D. Number 2, letter C. Number 3, letter B. Number 4, letter B. Number 5, letter D. Number 6, letter D. Number 7, letter C. Number 8, letter A. Number 9, letter D. And number 10, letter C. Who among you got perfect? Very good. How about those students who got below the median? Good. Nothing to worry about. We still have plenty of assessment in the preceding topics. Once again, congratulations everyone. And we hope that you were able to explain and understand how typhoon develops, how it is affected by landforms and bodies of water. Again, thank you so much for listening and see you on the next session through radio-based instruction. I am your radio teacher, Sir Eliezer M. Rebucas from Monte Vista National High School, and Ma'am Susmita Dayanara M. Relampagos from ENDAP National High School for the class on the air in Science Grade 8. For those concepts which is not clear to you, you can put your comments, suggestions, and questions on our Facebook page. Once again, thank you so much.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee, the Schools Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, CESO 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D.U., Donna D.T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banians. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acosar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Patuloy pa rin po ang inyong pagtutok dito sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Oras natin, we have a minute before hitting the hour of 12 o'clock. And kasama niyo pa rin po as Teacher JL. And Teacher Donna is currently out because she's doing something very important, mga ka-Z. So, we congratulate our presenter, Sir Elizer Ribucas, Teacher 3 of Montevisa National High School, and Ma'am Sushmita Dayanara M. Relampagos, Teacher 1 of Andap National High School. That's about grade 8 science, understanding typhoons. And before we end, Z-Eskwela, we're just gonna say hello sa atong mga viewers right now. We're saying hello to Ma'am Gemma, Ma'am Sir Bien Menso Jr., from Judy Silvosa, Ma'am Eleni Rosales, from Al San Miguel, and Ma'am Estela Dumagan. And also, hello to Ma'am Rosalie Amante Alcocer. Thank you so much for watching, mga ka-Z. And the time is exactly 12 o'clock, and because wala na tayong sapat na oras, we are going to say goodbye for now. Susunod na po sina Teacher Drew and Teacher Mamay. They're gonna be having grades 9 science and 10. Grades 9 and 10 science po. That's about formation of an ionic and covalent compound and practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. Yan po, pag-abangan niyo po yan at 12 until 2 o'clock. Sa ngalan po ni Teacher Donna at sa lahat po ng bumubuo ng Radyo Z-Eskwela, isa pong karangalan ang makapaglingkod sa inyo ngayong araw na to. Susunod na po again sa Teacher Drew and Teacher Maymay. Bukas po, babalik po ako muli kasama si Teacher Donna at 12 down to 2. Dahil salamat ug dalaygo ng Diyos.
To the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, mapapuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan nasa man ka mo adto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahin. sa Z-Radio, tagaan mo glingaw. Kay giving you the best music and everything, that's what make us proud. So turn your radio up, don't stop. Chillin' while tuning sa radio. All day, all night, dito yun lang sa Z-Radio. Isang ugas sa pakapadulong, sa balay man o trabaho. Giving you the best music and everything, dito lang sa Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya, Z-Radio.
Laging handa. Laging handa. Bahatag tuyot, sunog, lindol, bagyo. Mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo. Napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan. Kaya naman kailangan ngang paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Laging handa.
Kalamidad ay maaasahang darating.
Sa di inaasahang oras,
Kaya naman hindi na dapat hintayin. Unahan na habang di pa natataranta.
maging handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Suriin mo mabuti ang iyong kapaligiran. Saan ka ba nakatira? Diyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwig gamot pagkain, kumot pang sindi, first aid kit. Mga gamit panligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang bulkan, meron bang madadaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit. Mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa.
This
message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano katutubo, isang hanggarin san patubo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang
mundo.
alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman, hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara, tayong lahat sabay-sabay, pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Z Radio 88.5 FM in partnership with the DepEd Division Office of Davao de Oro presents the Radyo Z-Eskwela program, a radio-based instruction that will cater learners in the entire province of Davao de Oro. Division Executive Committee headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Eufemia T. Gamutin, CESO 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Febig A. L. Refamonte, CPA, Curriculum Implementation Division Chief Dr. Josie T. Bolufer, and School Governance and Operations Division Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Karina S. Frasco, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lin, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinuti, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Fabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Girly Ringo, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard D. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee for Production and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judelan T. U, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Irene Leia C. Mangohon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anjara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoto, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz. The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Tingog Party List, Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Niche Construction and Supply, Mabanglo Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Kanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, Re-Ing Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Bertodazo, Apex Mining Company Incorporated, and Icon Builders and Supply.
Z Radio 88.5.
Check your time. It's already 14 minutes po ang lumipas sa alas 12 ng tanghali. And of course, time check atid po sa atin ni Vice Governor Maria Carmen Zamora. Ayan, maayong udto mga kazi, magpadayon ta sa ato ang programa ug hopefully nakapaniud to na ang tanan. So happy lunchtime! Magpakabusog po kayo and enjoy your meal. Samahan niyo po rin po kami as we continue our program on its Tuesday edition. Ito po ang Wednesday na pala ngayon. And it's Wednesday edition po. Ito po ang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
Yes, so samahan niyo po kami hanggang alas 2 ng hapong ito ay Ma'am May Resma.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Yes, so nais lang naming batiin ang magandang tanghali ang lahat ng ating mga program sponsors. Sa kanunay daghan kayong salamat po sa inyong makanunayong suporta sa ato ang programa. Gayun din po ang ating mga heads sa DepEd Division of Davao de Oro, headed of course by our SDS, Ma'am Euphemia Gamutin. Hello Ma'am Fem, ayong udto.
And also to our ESDS, Doc Romel Handayan, and sa lahat ng ating mga EPS, department heads, and employees dyan sa ating division office. Good noon po sa inyong lahat.
Yes, so maayong udto. Maayong udto sa tanan natong mga Zuking listeners. Saan mang dako po kayo naroroon ngayon? Lalong-lalo na sa ating mga learners na nasa kani-kanilang mga tahanan po. So, Sir Drew, ano ba ang mga natalakay na kanina no sa pag-uumpisa ni na Sir JL at Ma'am Donna?
Yes, Teacher Mai. So, earlier 2 hours today po mga kazi, Teacher JL and Teacher Donna ay ibinigay sa inyo ang 2-lesson presentation which is about the grade 7 science na may topic na plant and animal cells, at sinundan yan ng ating grade 8 science also, and the topic is understanding typhoons.
Okay. So ngayon naman, abangan niyo po ang ating last 2 lesson presentations for our grade 9 science, the formation of an ionic and covalent compound. At maya-maya naman po our grade 10 science will be practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. So all about science po ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon. Kaya sa ating mga grade 9 and grade 10 learners dyan, abang-abang lang po kayo dahil ang ating huling 2 presentasyon ay para po sa inyo.
That's right. And aside sa ating on-air din sa atong paboritong istasyon sa Z Radio 88.5 FM, we do have cross-line streaming gamit ang FB application. Hanapin lang, i-like and subscribe. Of course, i-follow ang ating FB pages such as the Facebook Live at Z Radio 88.5, DepEd Division of Davao de Oro, and the Radyo Z-Eskwela DepEd Davao de Oro. And with this FB pages po mga Kazi learners, if you have questions and confusions with regards to the lesson presentation, of course, kung meron kayong mga pa-shoutout and greetings, and also recommendations with regards sa ating program, feel free to comment on the comment boxes of our FB pages. And if you're not online ngayon mga kazi, you can reach us through our official mobile number, which is the 0953-211-3492. Plus, we do have our YouTube channel, which is ito yung way so that you can review all our lesson presentations that we have in our program. And of course, para ma-notify mo that you really participate our program for today, all you have to do is, most especially sa ating students and parents and guardians, please notify us through filling out our attendance link, which is the https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela 0310. Again, kindly fill out that attendance link, and of course, nakapin yan sa ating mga comment boxes and naka-flash sa ating FB screen.
Yes, so makikita niyo po yan sa inyong mga screen po ngayon. It's already 12:18. So once again, hopefully nakapaniud to na ang tanan, labaw na ato ang mga estudyante kay para ganahan gid sila maminaw sa ato ang mga lesson presentations kay nabusog na, di ba Sir Drew?
Yes, Teacher Mai. So with that note, Teacher Mai, so let's start our third lesson presentation for today, which is about the grade 9 science na may topic na formation of an ionic and covalent compound. And makakasama natin bilang content presenter for this, isang Teacher 3 from Lorenzo Sarmiento Senior National High School, Sir Noel D. Paran, together with his creative resource material developer, coming from Attorney Orlando S. Rimando National High School, isang Teacher 1 na si Ma'am Shelafe G. Nocos.
Alas 12:18 na po. Enthusiastically hone your skills and delve deep to the wonders and infinite possibilities of the world of science on this websiting day. Kaya naman po, tara na, magklase na ta!
Good day, province of Davao de Oro, and hello, Z-Radio listeners. Basta Z-Radio, siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. Welcome to Grade 9 Science. Here, we do not only bring you the facts, but we also bring you the fun. I am Teacher Parts of Lorenzo S. Sarmiento Senior National High School. With me is Ma'am Sheila from Attorney Orlando S. Rimando Senior National High School. Today's topic will focus on Grade 9 Science, specifically on Quarter 2, Module 2, which entitled The Formation of an Ionic and Covalent Bond. Are you now ready? Great! But first, I want you to bring out your module and we will answer questions 1 to 5 in your pre-test. Let's begin!
Let us now begin with our pre-test. Here's the instruction. Choose the letter that corresponds to the correct answer. Write the letter of your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Question number 1. Ionic bonds are formed between A. Two metals, B. Two nonmetals, C. Two non-reactive elements, D. Metals and nonmetals. Again, ionic bonds are formed between A. Two metals, B. Two nonmetals, C. Two non-reactive elements, D. Metals and nonmetals. Question number 2. In forming ionic bonds, A. Electrons are shared by two metals, B. Electrons are transferred from nonmetals to metals, C. Electrons are accepted by metals from nonmetals, D. Electrons are released by metals and accepted by nonmetals. Again, in forming ionic bonds, A. Electrons are shared by two metals, B. Electrons are transferred from nonmetals to metals, C. Electrons are accepted by metals from nonmetals, D. Electrons are released by metals and accepted by nonmetals. Question number 3. reactive metals are mostly found at the A. The right part of the periodic table, B. Left part of the periodic table, C. Middle part of the periodic table, D. Lower part of the periodic table. Again, reactive metals are mostly found at the A. The right part of the periodic table, B. Left part of the periodic table, C. Middle part of the periodic table, D. Lower part of the periodic table. Question number 4. Reactive nonmetals are mostly found at the A. The right part of the periodic table, B. The left side of the periodic table, C. Middle part of the periodic table, D. Lower part of the periodic table. Again, reactive nonmetals are mostly found at the A. The right part of the periodic table, B. The left side of the periodic table, C. Middle part of the periodic table, D. Lower part of the periodic table. Number 5. In order to have a complete transfer of electron or electrons, the electron negativity difference of the two combining elements must be A. Less than 1.9, B. Greater than 1.9, C. Equal to 4, D. Equal to 0. Again, in order to have a complete transfer of electron or electrons, the electron negativity difference of the two combining elements must be A. Less than 1.9, B. Greater than 1.9, C. Equal to 4, D. Equal to 0.
Students, after the break, we will have to continue with our lesson. Have fun!
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Welcome back to Science 9. Are you now ready to our discussion for today about formation of an ionic bond and covalent bond?
But before that, how about your activity? Are you done answering it? If that's so, please place your answers to your portfolio and prepare yourselves for the discussion of our topic.
Hi there! Welcome to our topic today, formation of an ionic bond and covalent bond. What comes to your mind when you hear the word ion? You may have seen it in some drinks or on the battery packs of your gadgets and devices. But in this video, we will be discussing first regarding ions. So let's get started. Ions are atoms that carry either a positive or a negative charge. These charges are a result of atom gaining or losing electrons. But how do atom gains or lose electrons? We know that in an atom, electrons orbit around the nucleus. The valence electrons are the electrons found in an outermost shell of an atom. These are the electrons that are lost or gained in the process of forming ions. The elements in the periodic table are arranged according to increasing atomic number. The rows are called periods, and columns are called groups, which is numbered 1 and 2 respectively. Group number in the periodic table gives us the numbers of valence electrons in its outermost energy shell. For example, carbon, which belongs to group 4A, has 4 valence electrons. Electronegativity is the ability of an atom to attract electrons. The higher the electronegativity value of an atom, the higher is its ability to attract electrons. In period 2 of the periodic table, fluorine is located at the rightmost part of the row. Hence, fluorine has the highest electronegativity value, and it is the atom that is most likely to attract electrons. Thus, it has the highest tendency to gain electrons and become negatively charged. Generally, non-metals are the ones that tend to gain electrons and become negatively charged ions. They are called anions. When atoms gain electrons in its outermost shell, the number of their negatively charged electrons exceed those of the positively charged protons. Thus, they carry a negative charge. Ionization energy is the energy required to pull or remove electrons from an atom. This energy breaks the attraction between the nucleus and the valence electrons. The lower the ionization energy value of an atom, the easier it is to remove an electron from that atom. In period 2 in the periodic table, lithium is located at the leftmost part of the row. And if the element having the lowest ionization energy, it has the highest tendency to lose electrons and become positively charged. Generally, metals are the ones that tend to lose electrons and become positively charged ions. They are called cations. Atoms that loosen electrons in its outermost shell carry a positive charge because by losing electrons, the number of positively charged protons exceed those of negatively charged electrons. Electron affinity is the energy that an atom releases when it accepts an electron. It is therefore a measure of the tendency of an atom to attract an electron. Atoms are electrically neutral despite them having charge of atomic particles like the negatively charged electrons and the positively charged protons. Atoms are neutral because the number of negatively charged electrons and positively charged protons are equal. Thus, an atom is stable. Atoms need to lose or gain electrons in order to be stable. They become stable when their outermost part of the shell or valence shell contains 8 electrons, which satisfies the octet rule. So what is the octet rule? Octet rule refers to the tendency of atoms to prefer having an 8 electrons in the valence shell. When atoms have fewer than 8 electrons, they tend to react to form more stable compounds. Remember our example about fluorine when we discussed about an ion? We learned earlier that fluorine has the highest electronegativity value in the period, and it is the atom that is most likely to attract electrons. Why not neon? Because neon is a noble gas or stable element. They already have 8 valence electrons, and they are called noble because they don't have to lose or gain electrons in order to satisfy the octet rule. To illustrate the atoms from their neutral state to their ionized state, we make use of the Bohr model. Here is fluorine in its neutral state. Fluorine has 7 valence electrons and thus need another electron to be stable. In its ionized state, fluorine will be negatively charged due to the addition of another electron. In this state, fluorine is now stable. It has followed the octet rule. The size of the anion fluorine increase due to the repulsion among valence electrons. Here is the lithium in its normal state. It has 1 valence electrons to be stable. Lithium needs to lose its valence electrons and be positively charged. The size of the cations with its lithium decreases due to the reduction of valence electrons in its shell. Now, let's wrap things up. Ions are atoms that lose or gain electrons. And ions are negatively charged ions because they have more electrons than protons. Cations are positively charged ions because they have more protons than electrons. Valence electrons are electrons in the outermost energy shell of an atom. These electrons are directly involved in any chemical activity. And now, let us proceed to covalent bonding. What do you think is its difference from the ion bonding? Well, covalent bonding, also called molecular bond, it is a chemical bond that involves sharing of electron pairs between atoms. It commonly occurs when 2 nonmetals bond together. When you say nonmetals, it has strong energy attractions or high electronegativity compared to metals. They do not need to give electrons to be stable. Instead, they gain or share electrons to gain stability. For now, let us see the periodic table on where to find the nonmetal elements to be used in covalent bonding. In our periodic table, we can see the nonmetal elements in the right side. Remember, they are not the only ones we call nonmetal elements. It also includes the hydrogen. Aside from nonmetal elements, metalloids can also be involved during the covalent bond, depending on the situation. There are 2 types of covalent bonding: the nonpolar covalent bond and the polar covalent bond. Nonpolar covalent bond is when electrons are shared equally. For example, hydrogen has no electronegativity difference. Hydrogen has only 1 electron in its covalent shell. Thus, it needs another electron to become stable. If we apply the concept of covalent bond, hydrogen needs another 1 covalent shell to achieve stability. It could be possible if meeting another non-metal element that is willing to share with its electron, which will make them both benefited. Let's use another hydrogen atom so that we can come up with the hydrogen gas with the chemical formula of H2. Because they both need 1 electron each in its respective valence shell, they are going to share electron so that they could be stable without losing electron. It pertains to single bond. It happens when 2 atoms share in a pair of electrons. Another example is the 2 oxygen atoms to obtain oxygen gas, which has chemical formula of O2. Here, 2 oxygen atoms has both 6 electrons to its valence shell. Both of them need 2 more electrons to become stable. Thus, they will share electrons according to how much they need to meet stability. The curse, double covalent bond, happens when 2 atoms share 2 pairs of electrons to obtain stability. The same thing happens to the triple bond. What is polar covalent bonding? Remember that the concept of covalent bonding that no element shall give up and no element shall gain. Instead, both of them shall benefit or will share only because both of them need 1 electron to share to achieve stability. Example: 2 atoms of hydrogen plus 1 atom of oxygen. As you can see, they both have different electrons in its valence shell, yet they have the same desire, that is, to achieve stability without gaining or losing. It could only be possible if 1 atom of oxygen shared to the 2 atoms of hydrogen, so that both of them will benefit. If they share each other and become stable, we come up with the so-called water, which has a chemical formula of H2O. And now, let us sum up our learnings regarding the formation of ionic bond and covalent bond. In terms of elements involved, ionic bond involves metal and non-metals, while covalent bond involves 2 non-metals. In terms of process, ionic bond transfer of electrons, while covalent bond sharing of electrons. In terms of boiling point and melting point, ionic bond is high, while covalent bond is low. In terms also of polarity, ionic bond is high, while covalent bond is low. In terms of state, ionic bond is solid state at room temperature, while covalent bond is liquid or gaseous at room temperature. And that concludes our discussion for today regarding the formation of an ionic bond and covalent bond. Please prepare yourselves for the short assessment after the break. Happy learning, grade 9 students of Davao de Oro!
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
It's assessment time. I hope you are all ready for our assessment for today. Here's the instruction. I want you to get a piece of paper and provide me with your answer. I am going to read the question twice. And I am going to begin with question number 1. How is covalent bond formed? Letter A, transfer of electrons. Letter B, sharing of electrons. Letter C, losing of electrons. Letter D, gaining of electrons. I repeat, how is covalent bond formed? Letter A, transfer of electrons. Letter B, sharing of electrons. Letter C, losing of electrons. And letter D, gaining of electrons. Moving on to question number 2. How many types of bonds can oxygen atom form? Letter A, 1. Letter B, 2. Letter C, 3. Letter D, 4. I repeat, how many types of bonds can oxygen atom form? A, 1. B, 2. C, 3. D, 4. Let's have the third question. What kind of bond will result when two nonmetallic atoms combine? Letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. I repeat, what kind of bond will result when two nonmetallic atoms combine? Letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. Moving on to the fourth question. In H2O molecule, the atoms are held by letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, polar covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. I repeat, in H2O molecule, the atoms are held by letter A, ionic bond. Letter B, metallic bond. Letter C, polar covalent bond. Letter D, nonpolar covalent bond. We are now on the last and final question. The fifth question. A covalent bond, letter A, involves shared electrons. Letter B, is formed by sharing protons. Letter C, results from the transfer of electrons. Letter D, it is called electrovalent. I repeat, a covalent bond, letter A, involves shared electrons. Letter B, is formed by sharing protons. Letter C, results from the transfer of electrons. Letter D, it is also called electrovalent. Are you done with our assessment? Great! And that concludes our lesson for today. We hope that you learned something from the discussion about photosynthesis and respiration. Keep safe, everyone. God bless.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee, the Schools Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Saso 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan, OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte, Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opena, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldicles B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Sikinya, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. Yu, Donna D. D. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Yes, welcome back po sa ating programa. Kayo'y nakikinig pa rin po sa programang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya!
Yes, oras na ito karon alas 12:48 na sa udto. And time check sa ito gihapon ka nato sa Apex Mining Company Incorporated o sa Pahati Construction. And of course, mga kazi, kamo na minaw gihapon sa inyong paboritong radio station. Kini ang Z-Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong Kuyaw.
And kasama niyo pa rin po kami, Mamay Resma po.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Yes, we're done airing, Sir Drew, our third lesson presentation para karong adlaw alang sa ato ang mga grade 9 learners.
That's right, Teacher Mai. It's about the subject science na may topic na formation of an ionic and covalent compound na ibinigay sa atin ng content presenter na isang Teacher 3 from Lorenzo Sarmiento Senior National High School na si Sir Noel D. Paran kasama ang kanyang Creative Resource Material Developer na isang Teacher 1 from Attorney Orlando Estremando National High School na si Ma'am Shalafe G. Nocos.
Yes, maraming
Thank you so much.
salamat po and congratulations to the both of you. Okay, so reminder lang sa tanan natong mga content presenters along with the material developer, you are reminded po to please submit your material ahead of time kung mahimog yun, no? Kaya para ma-check pa sa ato ang team, laban na sa ato ang mga editors o ma-enhance pa kung doon ay mga angay pa nga i-enhance sa inyong mga material. Daghang salamat.
Yes, Teacher Mai. And we are reminding the students, the guardians, and the parents to participate through our RBI class today sa pamamagitan ng pag-fill out ng ating attendance link, which is the https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela 0310. And of course, later on, if we will get the information na ating i-acknowledge yung mga schools na ang mga daghan kay responses ano, Teacher Mike, and just like we had last Sunday, so medyo niabot yun og 380 responses ang ato ang attendance link in that particular day.
Yes, so daghan kaing salamat no. So hopefully naka-attendance na ang tanan sa mga kaka-tune in lang. Kung wala pa mo naka-attendance, again, just feel free nga mo access no sa atong attendance link. Naka-flash ka na sa inyong FB screen. And of course, nakapin sa ato ang comment box or sa atong description box.
That's right.
So once again, atong ginahangyo, gina-encourage labaw na ang ato ang mga estudyante nga mo attendance good. Okay.
Mabilisan lang, Teacher Mary. So, atong lang i-acknowledge atong mga netizens na nagtanaw sa atong programa through the Crossline Streaming sa Facebook Live. We have Ma'am Gemma Hesta, May Mendoza, Ellen Tihamo, Evelyn Lim Obeja, and to the mother of Sir Junior Vito, Maria Ann Innocente Erdita, and also to my co-teachers dyan sa Tubura National High School na gipanguluhan sa amo ang head teacher 1 na si Sir Guno, Rogelio Guno, and sa among mga kaubanan dyan na naka-skeletal workforce. Hi po sa iyan, keep safe. And hi sa aming public district supervisor na si Ma'am Toto Teves ug sa kanyang mga kasamaan dyan sa Maob District Office. Hello po.
Yes, so allow me to say hi sa kong mga kaubanan diha sa Cao National High School, headed of course sa mga principal Ma'am Norma Ember Ruiz, laban na sa amo ang Brigada Eskwela Coordinator Ma'am Feby Cubio, with our Adapa School Program Coordinator Ma'am Ivy Dioso Parahele. Sa amo mga stakeholders diha nga naadiha karon, daghan kayong salamat sa inyong makananayong suporta ug atong ginapahimangnuan gyud ang tanan nga sa kanunay ato ang tumanon ang ato ang
health protocols.
Yes, health protocols. Magsulog ta sa ato ang mga face mask gyud. Ug sa ubang tulungaan no, labaw na sa atong mga kaubanan sa buhat at mga kaubanang magtutudlo nga naka-duty karon sa ilahang mga tagsa nga station. Hello po sa inyo mga ma'am and sir. Maayong hapon and we are wishing na you are doing great today no. You are all well karon.
Yes, and before we proceed to our last lesson presentation, Teacher Mai, we would like to acknowledge our Radyo Z-Eskwela program sponsors. We have Norada Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated,
Maverick Builders Incorporated,
Construction and Supply,
Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply,
DB Construction and Supply,
Kanaway Builders Corporation,
Phoenix Tagum Gasoline Station,
Master Construction and Supplies,
Mackenzie Builders,
and GP&H Construction Incorporated. Yes, sila po ang ating mga program sponsors. Mabilisan lang din. Hello to our district head sa Nabunturan East District, to Ma'am Rosario A. Nuneza. Maayong hapon kanimo, ma'am. And of course, sa Nabunturan West District po nga supervisor, si Sir Alan Guerta. And also, hello to Lumaad family, Simpron family. Ayan, maraming thank you po for listening. Sa mga ka-Z-nato, no? Kung doon na kamo yung mga na-miss nga mga episodes nga gusto ninyong tanawon or mga episodes nga gusto ninyong balikan. So, naana na siya uploaded na sa ato ang YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel is Radio Z-Eskwela DDO. So, naana dito. And please, don't forget to like our videos, subscribe sa ato ang channel, and hit the notification bell para pina-update ma-notify mo kung doon na tayong mga bagong videos nga ato ang i-upload. Samahan niyo pa rin po kami kasama ang ating VMix operator for today, Kuya Tata Akosar. Ito po si Ma'am Maymay Resma.
I'm Sir Drew Anuel.
Yes, for the meantime, mag-break sa takadali, Sir Drew. Huwag sa atong pagbalik, ato nang ihatag kanila ang ato ang last lesson presentation. Andam-andam mga ato ang mga grade 10 learners. All that and more, diriging hapon sa inyong paboritong programa. Kini, ang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
And yes, kita mo balik kung maniining pipila ka mga pahinumdum.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go! Laging handa! Laging handa! Bahatag tuyot, sunog, lindol, bagyo. Mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo. Napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan. Kaya naman kailangan ngang paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging sa di inaasahang oras.
Kaya naman hindi na dapat hintayin. Unahan na habang di pa natataranta.
Maging handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa. Suriin mo mabuti ang iyong kapaligiran. Saan ka ba nakatira? Diyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwing gamot pagkain, kumot pang sindi, first aid kit, mga gamit panligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang bulkan, meron bang matagdaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit. Mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Tatag at tibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigisin, lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin, lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, magbayanihan na. Sabay-sabayhan na. Sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon.
papipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano katutubo, isang hanggarin san patungo, ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Isang alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman, hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay, pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Z Radio 88.5.
Yes, tayo na naman po yung nagbabalik sa inyong paboritong programa. Ito po, ang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
And check your time. It's already 1:05 sa hapon. We are now at the final hour po ng ating programa. Samahan niyo po kami hanggang 2:00 ng hapong ito. Ito pa rin po si Mamay Resma.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Yeah, so 3 lesson presentations na po ang ating natunghayan. So meaning to say, meron pang isang natitira. And for our last lesson presentation, makakasama po natin mamaya after her presentation ang ating content presenters. Kaya naman sa lahat ng ating mga Zooking listeners, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga madlang learners, kung meron po kayong mga katanungan, laban na kung doon na mo yung mga kalibog, mga gustong ipaklaro, just feel free nga ipadala na sa mua. So just keep your messages coming in by commenting po. Feel free to comment sa atong mga comment boxes, laban na kung kamo nakasubaybay karon sa ato ang Facebook Live. And of course, kung dili mo online karon, pwede mo manawag or mo text sa ato ang mobile phone number. It's 0953-211-3492.
Ayan, so Teacher Mari, so The last lesson presentation for today will be about grade 10 science na may topic na practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. Makakasama natin bilang content presenter, isang teacher 3 from Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School, Ma'am Mildred P. Recto, and also together with her creative resource material developer, isang teacher 1 from Monte Vista National High School na si Ma'am Teresa V. Angostura.
Yes, so 107 na po. It's still a websiting day, kaya naman po, tara na, magklase na ta!
A pleasant afternoon, Davao de Oro, and to all Z-Eskwela listeners, especially to all grade 10 students who are listening to us right now on the radios at home and joining with us on our Facebook Live. I am teacher Mildred P. Recto from Major Angel B. Fajardo National High School, and I will again be your presenter for today in Science Grade 10. We are now on our second module for the second quarter. How are you so far? I hope you are still enjoying your journey in the new normal setting of learning as well continue to move forward despite of the crisis we are in right now. Now, let's move on and have another lesson. We hope everybody is prepared with your pens, record notebooks, and modules. Make sure that you already ate your lunch and you are on your most comfortable position as we will go through with our discussion. So, are you ready for today's class? That's good to know. Now brace yourselves as we get along with today's topic. Ready? Once again, hello and good afternoon everyone. Before we will start to introduce our topic this afternoon, let us first have a quick review of the previous concepts you have learned in our previous discussion. You have learned that electromagnetic waves are waves that are created as a result of vibrations between an electric field and magnetic field. And they are arranged in increasing frequency in what we call as the electromagnetic spectrum. Again, electromagnetic spectrum is the arrangement of EM waves in increasing frequency. Can you still remember the different types of electromagnetic waves? Very good. The different types of EM waves are the radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultrasound, X-ray, and gamma ray. And they are arranged in a decreasing wavelength, increasing frequency, and energy. Again, the types of electromagnetic waves are arranged in a decreasing wavelength, increasing frequency, and energy. Now class, are you not wondering how you are able to communicate with your loved ones from far places? How your television remote control works? Or how were you able to listen to music from your radio? Most of the things we use nowadays are applications of our knowledge about electromagnetic waves. We may not see these EM waves, but we encounter their different forms in our daily life. That's why this afternoon, we will be discussing the practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. And we hope that at the end of the lesson, you will be able to cite examples of practical applications of the different regions of EM waves, such as the use of radio waves in telecommunication, and explain the effects of electromagnetic radiation on living things and the environment. Now, are you ready for the discussion of our topic this afternoon? Great! To test your past knowledge about this topic, kindly answer first the questions on what I know on pages 1 to 2 of your modules. You are given 5 seconds to answer each 10 questions. Let us read the instruction first. Listen carefully. Read each question carefully. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. What EM wave makes cellular telephones transmit and receive signals? A. Radio waves. B. Microwaves. C. Visible light. D. Gamma rays. What EM wave makes cellular telephones transmit and receive signals? A. Radio waves. B. Microwaves. C. Visible light. D. Gamma rays. Number 2. All of the following are uses of visible light. Which one is not? A. It enables us to see things. B. Gives light to the screen of our devices. C. For thermal imaging. D. Used in optical fibers. All of the following are uses of visible light. Which one is not? A. It enables us to see things. B. Gives light to the screen of our devices. C. For thermal imaging. D. Used in optical fibers. 3. Which kind of wave is used in night vision goggles? A. Microwave. B. Infrared. C. Gamma ray. D. Visible light. 3. Which kind of wave is used in night vision goggles? A. Microwave. B. Infrared. C. Gamma ray. D. Visible light. 4. Which of the following EM wave makes use of artificial lighting? A. Visible spectrum. B. X-ray. C. Gamma rays. D. Infrared. Which of the following EM wave makes use of artificial lighting? A. Visible spectrum. B. X-ray. C. Gamma rays. D. Infrared. 5. Which of the following is a use of ultraviolet radiation? A. Diagnosing bone fracture. B. Identifying original from fake banknotes. C. Night vision goggle. D. Optical fiber. Which of the following is a use of ultraviolet radiation? A. Diagnosing bone fracture. B. Identifying original from fake banknotes. C. Night vision goggle. D. Optical fiber. 6. Which type of X-ray can penetrate even through metals? A. Regular X-ray. B. Long wavelength X-ray. C. Short wavelength X-ray. D. Dental X-ray. Which type of X-ray can penetrate even through metals? A. Regular X-ray. B. Long wavelength X-ray. C. Short wavelength X-ray. D. Dental X-ray. 7. What type of electromagnetic waves is used in radar? A. Infrared rays. B. Microwaves. C. Radio waves. D. Ultraviolet rays. What type of electromagnetic waves is used in radar? A. Infrared rays. B. Microwaves. C. Radio waves. D. Ultraviolet rays. 8. What imaging technique uses powerful magnets, computer, and radio waves to make detailed pictures inside your body? A. Thermal imaging. B. Infrared imaging. C. Magnetic resonance imaging. D. X-ray image. What imaging technique uses powerful magnets, computer, and radio waves to make detailed pictures inside your body? A. Thermal imaging. B. Infrared imaging. C. Magnetic resonance imaging. D. X-ray image. 9. In an infrared camera, what color indicates warmer temperature? A. Blue. B. Green. C. Violet. D. Yellow. In an infrared camera, what color indicates warmer temperature? A. Blue, B. Green, C. Violet, D. Yellow. Then, which of the EM waves below are emitted by stars and some radioactive substances? A. Gamma rays, B. Radio waves, C. Microwave, D. X-ray. Which of the EM waves below are emitted by stars and some radioactive substances? A. Gamma rays, B. Radio waves, C. Microwave, D. X-ray. Now, let us check your work. 1B, 2C, 3B, 4A, 5B, 6C, 7B, 8C, 9D, and 10A. How are your scores? It's okay if you did not get perfect scores, as we will tackle these things in our discussion today. Now, after our short break, we will continue on our discussion on the practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. Stay tuned!
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Kanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back. Now, let us have our discussion about the practical applications and effects of the electromagnetic waves. Earlier, we have reviewed the different types of electromagnetic waves. What are they again? Great! They are the radio wave, microwave, infrared, visible light, ultrasound, X-ray, and gamma ray. While all these EM waves move through space at the same speed of about 300 million meters per second, their wavelengths, frequencies, and energies differ. This is the reason why they are arranged accordingly in a scheme called electromagnetic spectrum. Again, although the EM waves travel at the same speed, they are arranged accordingly in a scheme called electromagnetic spectrum because they differ in their wavelengths, frequency, and energy. Electromagnetic waves have practical applications which depend greatly on their wavelength, frequency, and energy. Well, let us continue with our discussion for us to know more about it. Let us first discuss the practical applications of the radio wave. In your module on page 5, you can see there 3 of some of the applications of radio waves. First is the radio or television signals. Just like at this moment, you can listen to us right now on your radios at home, even if we are far from each other because of radio waves. That is because radio waves has the longest wavelength in the electromagnetic spectrum. That's why it can transmit sounds or picture information over long distances. Next application of the radio wave is the on-the-go GPS or the Global Positioning System, which we always use as a guide whenever we're not familiar of the places we are going. GPS is a space-based navigation system that provides geographical position and time information anywhere on or near the Earth. It communicates with stations on the ground using radio waves. We have GPS in our cars, our cell phones, and any tracking devices. Lastly is the magnetic resonance imaging or MRI. This is commonly found in hospitals and is used to look at organs and structures inside your body. Healthcare professionals use MRI scans to diagnose a variety of conditions, from torn ligaments to tumors. MRIs are very useful for examining the brain and spinal cord. It is a medical imaging technique that uses powerful magnets, computer, and radio waves to make detailed pictures inside your body. Again, what are the 3 practical applications of radio waves? Very good! Radio waves are applied in radio or television signals, global positioning system or GPS, and the magnetic resonance imaging or MRI. Now, let us proceed to the applications of the next electromagnetic waves, which is the microwave. First is the satellite. Microwaves are used in satellite communications because it can penetrate the Earth's atmosphere. Microwave signals are transmitted by an antenna to a satellite, which amplifies and retransmits the signal to an antenna in other parts of the world. This is how we communicate even from afar. Again, we can communicate even from afar through these satellites because it uses microwaves that can penetrate the Earth's atmosphere and transmit signals from an antenna to another. Next is the terrestrial communication. A cell phone is a radio transmitter and receiver that uses microwaves. Each cell has its tower that receives and sends microwave signals. There you go! The cell phones that we cannot live without uses an electromagnetic wave that is microwave. The third application for the microwave is used in cooking. The microwaves in a microwave oven penetrate and agitate the water molecules within the food. Thus, they create molecular friction, which produces heat that will cook the food. Lastly is the radar, which we see in movies used by military men, whether on land, up in the air, or in the middle of the ocean. Radar, radio detection and ranging, is a detection system used to determine the range, angle, or velocity of objects. It can be used to detect aircraft, ships, and the like. So, the applications for microwaves are found in the satellite communication, terrestrial communication like the cell phones. It is used in cooking using the microwave oven, and the radar that detects objects. Next up is the infrared. And we use infrared EM waves in our remote controls, whether in our TVs, air cons, and the like. It uses LED lights to transmit signals to control devices, and as it transmits signals, it emits pulses of invisible infrared light. Next one is the thermal imaging through infrared scanners. Infrared scanners such as thermal imaging and thermal scanner are used to show the temperature variation of the body. Our body radiates infrared, and under infrared cameras, our images appear in a variety of colors. The differences in color determine the differences in temperature. For example, shades of blue and green indicate regions of colder temperature, and red and yellow indicate warmer temperature. That's what commonly used, especially in this time of pandemic. Transport terminals are often using thermal scanners to determine if a passenger is in high temperature. Lastly is the night vision goggles. It uses thermal imaging technology to capture the infrared light being emitted as heat by objects in the field of view even at night. The application of the visible light is that enables us to see things around us. It also gives light to the screen of most electronic devices and to artificial lights like flashlight, lamp, or any light source that produces light instead of natural lights produced by the sun. Another application of the visible light is the use of optical fibers in medicine, specifically in using the endoscope. It is a flexible tube with a tiny camera that is used to observe the internal parts of the body. The fifth one is the ultraviolet wave. The ultraviolet B, UVB radiation in sunlight interact with a protein in the skin, converting it into vitamin D3, the active form of vitamin D, which is essential for maintaining healthy bones and teeth. Ultraviolet is also used in security markings in sensitive documents such as credit cards, banknotes, and passports. It includes a UV watermark that is only seen under UV emitting light. Next application of the ultraviolet is in the sterilization of water in drinking fountains. Ultraviolet light disinfection is one water treatment system that can be used to remove most forms of microbiological contamination from water. And the last application of the UV is in the fluorescence. Some washing powder contains fluorescent chemicals which glow in sunlight. This makes your shirt look whiter in daylight. Now, students, are you still listening? We are now down to our last two EM waves and their applications. We are done with the applications of radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible lights, and the ultraviolet. Now, before we proceed, I want you to get up from wherever you are and shake your body to shake away boredom. Go! Shake and stretch! Are you done? Let us continue. The next EM wave we will discuss is the X-ray, and I'm sure you know about it. Have you tried getting an X-ray? X-rays are used in diagnosing bone fractures and is produced using an X-ray tube. Long wavelength X-rays can penetrate the flesh but not the bones. That's why it is used in diagnosing bone fractures. Airport security scanner also uses X-ray. The short wavelength X-rays can penetrate through metals, which can be used in airport security scanner. Last EM wave is the gamma ray, and it is used to treat tumors and cancer through the process called radiotherapy. The high energy rays of gamma destroy cancer cells in the area where it is given. Gamma rays also sterilize surgical instruments because they easily penetrate through materials, and the energy they release kills bacteria and other microorganisms. From the practical applications of EM waves discussed above, we can conclude that these waves are significant to us. But even essential forms of radiation can be harmful in excessive amount. The effect of EM radiation on organisms and environment depends on how much energy it carries. Radiation can be non-ionizing and ionizing. Non-ionizing radiation does not have enough energy to remove electrons from atoms and molecules. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible lights, and ultraviolets are non-ionizing radiation. We are exposed to low levels of non-ionizing radiation every day. When the exposure is intense and direct, it may result in damage to tissue due to heat. Right amount of non-ionizing radiation like UV rays maintain the proper mechanism of ecosystem. High-energy EM waves like X-rays and gamma rays are considered ionizing radiation. Like the non-ionizing radiation, we are also exposed to low levels of ionizing radiation that comes from the atmosphere. This means that the usual amount of ionizing radiation from natural sources absorbed by our bodies is small. Our main exposure to ionizing radiation comes from man-made sources through the use of diagnostic medical exams. Excessive exposure to this radiation can alter molecules within the cells and may cause eventual harm such as skin or tissue damage, cancer, and death. When handled improperly, radioactive pollution may occur, where the air, soil, and water will be contaminated. This pollution may eventually make its way up to the food chain, where all forms of life may be affected. Now, if you have any questions about our discussion for today, you can leave a comment on our FB Live in the Facebook account of Z-Radio 88.5 and we'll answer that later on. So, I guess you are now ready for the quiz? Now, during our break, prepare your pen and a clean sheet of paper because when we come back, we will test your understanding on our discussion today. We'll be right back after a short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back. Are you now ready for your quiz? I guess you are quite ready and excited. Now, learners, kindly open your module on pages 23 to 24. Again, kindly open your module on pages 23 to 24. Let us read the instruction together. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answers in a separate sheet of paper. Let us start. Number 1. Which pair of EM waves is commonly used for communication? A. X-rays and infrared. B. Radio waves and microwaves. C. Radio waves and gamma rays. D. Infrared and microwaves. Again, which pair of EM waves is commonly used for communication? A. X-rays and infrared. B. Radio waves and microwaves. C. Radio waves and gamma rays. D. Infrared and microwaves. Number 2. Radio wave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Watching television. B. Treating cancers. C. Sterilizing medical equipment. D. Sunbathing. Radio wave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Watching television. B. Treating cancers. C. Sterilizing medical equipment. D. Sunbathing. 3. All of the following made use of gamma rays except one. Which is it? A. Treating tumors. B. Treating cancer through the process called radiotherapy? C. Sterilization of water in drinking fountains? D. Sterilization of medical equipment. All of the following made use of gamma rays except one. Which is it? A. Treating tumors. B. Treating cancer through the process called radiotherapy. C. Sterilization of water in drinking fountains. D. Sterilization of medical equipment. Four. Infrared waves is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Television signal. C. Screen of electronic devices. D. Night vision goggles. Infrared waves is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Television signal. C. Screen of electronic devices. D. Night vision goggles. Five. Microwave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Cell phone communication. C. Artificial lighting. D. Sterilization. Microwave is useful in which of the following applications? A. Remote control. B. Cell phone communication. C. Artificial lighting. D. Sterilization. 6. Invisible light, which color has the longest wavelength? A. Red. B. Violet. C. Yellow. D. Green. Invisible light, which color has the longest wavelength? A. Red. B. Violet. C. Yellow. D. Green. 7. What form of wave makes your skin tan when exposed to a long period of time? A. Infrared rays. B. Microwaves. C. Radio waves. D. Ultraviolet rays. What form of wave makes your skin tan when exposed for a long period of time? A. Infrared rays. B. Microwaves. C. Radio waves. D. Ultraviolet rays. 8. Which of the following is not an application of visible light? A. Bulb. B. Security markings. C. Cell phone screen. D. Flashlight. Which of the following is not an application of visible light? A. Bulb. B. Security markings. C. Cell phone screen. D. Flashlight. 9. Which of the following is the correct meaning of the acronym GPS? A. Guided Position Symbol. B. Global Positioning System. C. Guided Positioning System. D. Global Perimeter Scale. Which of the following is the correct meaning of the acronym GPS? A. Guided Position Symbol. B. Global Positioning System. C. Guided Positioning System. D. Global Perimeter Scale. 10. Colors in the infrared image depend on A. Wavelength. B. Frequency. C. Amplitude. D. Temperature. Colors in the infrared image depend on A. Wavelength. B. Frequency. C. Amplitude. D. Temperature. Okay, let us check your work. 1A, 2A, 3C, 4A, 5B, 6A, 7D, 8B, 9B, 10D. Who among you got perfect? Very good. How about those students who got below the passing score? Nothing to worry about. We still have plenty of quizzes on the preceding topics. Once again, Congratulations, everyone! Again, we hope that you were able to understand and grasp the knowledge about the practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves, wherein we were able to cite examples of practical applications of the different regions of EM waves and explain the effects of electromagnetic radiation on living things and the environment. Reminder, for those concepts which are not clear to you, you can put your comments, suggestions, and questions on our FB page. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Again, I am Teacher Mildred P. Recto of Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School as your content presenter, and with me is Teacher Teresa V. Angostura of Monte Vista National High School, Maine, as a creative resource developer. See you next session through our radio-based instruction in Science Grade 10.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The Schools Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, CESO 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Clee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Yes, we are back. Oras na to karon. It's already 1:44 na sa hapon. Time check sa ito gihapon ka na to ni Vice Governor Maria Carmen Zamora. And yes, Sir Drew, we're done airing our last lesson presentation para karong adlaw.
Yes, that's right. It's about the grade 10 science. Now, ay topic na practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves. And we would like to say thank you to our content presenter, a teacher 3 coming from Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School na si Ma'am Mildred P. Recto, kasama ang kanyang creative resource material developer, isang teacher 1 naman from Monte Vista National High School na si Ma'am Teresa V. Angostura.
Yes, so mga kazilabaw na sa ito ang mga dear learners, as promised, live na live. Makauban nato sa ito ang programa karon. Let us all welcome our content presenter for grade 10 science. We have Ma'am Mildred P. Recto, teacher 3 from Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School.
Yes.
Ayan, hello Ma'am Mildred.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes, mayong hapon. Welcome back to our program. Opo. So, karon makauban nato si Ma'am Mildred, diin ihang tubagon ang pipila nato nga mga pangutana no nga gikan sa ato ang mga listeners and viewers. So, andam na ba si Ma'am Mildred?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so hopefully andam na pod ang ato ang mga learners and hopefully makahatag og dugang pagpaklaro og katubagan ning iyahang mga question and answer portion niya karon Sir Bruno. Oo. So, our first question po, what are electromagnetic waves? Are they common in our surroundings?
Okay, so as what I've said during the presentation, electromagnetic waves are created as a result of vibrations between magnetic fields and electric fields. So these are the radio wave, microwave, infrared, visible light,
ultraviolet rays, X-ray, and gamma ray, and they are grouped as the electromagnetic spectrum.
Okay.
And they are very common in our surroundings, ma'am.
Yes.
Alright, so next question, Ma'am Mildred. What are some applications of the electromagnetic waves that we encounter in our daily lives?
Well, actually, sir, we have many applications of the EM waves, just like the cell phones that we are using, the signals. Another thing is the signal from the television, as well as the remote control.
Okay.
And we also have the light from our bulb. So those are also applications of our electromagnetic waves.
Okay. So for our last question po, how do EM or electromagnetic waves affect living things in our environment?
Yes, they can harm or be useful in our environment depending on our uses and the intensity of the radiation from the electromagnetic waves, ma'am.
So thank you so much for ma'am, no. So both it can be harmful and it is also useful.
Yes, ma'am.
So ika nga ni Miss Catriona Gray or Miss Universe na everything is good but in moderation. Okay, so maraming thank you, Ma'am Mildred. It's such an honor nga makuban ka namo karon sa atuang programa. And of course, before we say goodbye to you, hatagan ka na mo gigayon nga makapagpasalamat sa mga tawo nga nahimong kabahin sa imong success karon laban ang imuhang pamilya. Ug basi na kay mga gustong i-greet or i-shout out po, so take it away.
Okay, so I would like to greet my partner, Tetet, Teresa Angostura of Montevista National High School. I would also like to greet my EPS in Science, Ma'am Cesenia Morales, for supporting us, as well as our District Coordinating Principal of New Batan District, Sir Jomede C. Calicdan, my principal in Kamanlangan National High School, Ma'am Bernadette Garstanes, who is actually having my first CO right now. Yes. And to my co-teachers in Major Angel V. Fajardo National High School, to my husband, Jofel Recto, and my baby, baby John Constantine. Hello.
Okay, so maraming salamat, Ma'am Mildred P. Recto. Once again, congratulations. Good luck and God bless no sa inyong mga preparations para pa sa inyong mga sunod ng mga presentations. Yes, so see you around, Ma'am. See you next time po. Okay, so once again, that was Ma'am Mildred P. Recto. Okay, so 1:49 is our time and wrap up lang po kung anong mga naganap sa ating episode for today. So go ahead, Sir Drew.
That's right, Teacher Mari. So we had 4 lesson presentation for today and we started with grade 7 science na may topic na plant and animal cells. Nasundan niya ng ating para sa ating grade 8 science na may topic na understanding typhoons. And then we have grade 9 science, formation and of an ionic and covalent compound. And lastly, we have for grade 10, which is about science then, practical applications and effects of electromagnetic waves.
Ayan, sa lahat ng ating mga nakasama today na content presenters and material developers, maraming salamat po and congratulations. And we are reminding again our content presenters and material developer, most especially for next week no, karon nga week sa wala pa nakasubmit. So we are reminding you to please submit your material ahead of time po. Oo, para maiwasan nato ang mga same day edit nga maganap. Oo, di ba, Sir?
Yes,
Oo, tagaan po nato og taas-taas nga lugay ang atong mga editors nga ilaha pang mahanay maplastar ang inyong mga material. So daghan kayong salamat sa inyong pagsabot sa kanunay. And of course, ato ang i-acknowledge atong mga kaubanan karon, the persons behind this microphone and camera, atong VMix operator, Kuya Tata Acosar.
We have Sir Angelo.
Yes, our secretariat nga on duty to Ma'am Irene Leia Manguhon.
And also kanina kasama natin si Teacher Donna and Teacher JL.
Yes, so present also ang ating SMPT na si Ma'am Jade Karen Arais.
Hi po.
Ayan, so araw ngayon ng Miyerkules and for tomorrow's episode, abangan niyo po ang ating programa alas 10 sa gihapon, taman alas 2 sa hapon. Okay, so 1:51, buot natong pasalamatan once again our program sponsors. Maraming thank you po to Metro Gear Construction Corporation.
Thank you also to Neon Builders and Development Services Corporation,
Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated,
Green Construction Company,
Rangay Construction and Supply,
East 26 Enterprise,
WM Construction,
Councilor Bugi and Miss Marjorie Vertudazo,
Acon Builders and Supply,
Apex Mining Company Incorporated,
at sa Pahati Construction. Ayan sila po ang ating mga program sponsors. Daghan kayo kaayong salamat mga ma'am and sir sa inyong makanunayong suporta sa ato ang programa. Okay, so 1:51. So, dali ra gyud kaayong adlaw Sir Drono. It's already March 10. So, once again, happy kaarawan sa tanan natong mga Zuking listeners nga nag-celebrate karon sa ilang mga adlawng natawhan. Happy birthday po sa inyo.
And also, we would like to say thank you to all the students, parents, and guardians na nag-fill out sa ating attendance link na naka-pin sa ating mga comment boxes and naka-flash din sa ating mga FB screens.
Yes. So, sa mga nagpadala sa ilang mga mensahe, kung doon namin mga wala nabasa, no? So, kami mga og dispensa ni Ana, mga Zuking listeners. And, buot natong i-shout out si Ma'am Thelma Cadiz Batalunan na nali, isa sa ato ang mga presenters sa math, no? Ug sa iyang mga kaubanan diha sa Nabunta na National Comprehensive High School. Hinupod sa mga kaubanan ni Sir Tata o Mr. Given diha sa Monte Vista National High School.
And also, I would like to acknowledge Ma'am Karina Absalon din sa Pindasan Elementary School kasama si Ma'am Civiliano bilang kanilang principal.
Yes, of course. Ako mga kanhi magtutudlo ug sa mga ginikanan nga busy kay diha karon sa Cao Elementary School, no, alang sa atong pagpahigayon ni ining Brigada Eskwela. So sa tanan, ato yung sa kanunay ato ang i-maintain ang ato ang mga health protocols, sir, do, no? Oo, dili lang tap kaayo palabi og digkit. So maintain gihapon nato ang ato ang physical distancing. Labaw na og makig istorya ta sa atong mga katapad, always wear gyud sa ato ang mga face mask. So ang pingat sa kanunay mga kazi. So kung na-miss niyo atong episode for today, all you need to do is muadto sa atong YouTube channel. So na dito uploaded na ang tanan natong mga na-aired na nga mga videos, mga lesson presentation. So kung doon na mo yung mga gustong balikan, so pwede kaayo. So ato ang YouTube channel is Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. So again, please do like our videos mga kazi, subscribe sa ato ang channel and hit the notification bell para pina-update man-notify mo kung doon na tayo mga bagong videos ng ato ang i-upload.
That's right. And if you're not online mga ka-Z learners, of course, you can download the Z Radio application. All you have to do is to download it into the Google Play and Play Store if you're using the smartphones and Android phones.
Okay. So, 1:53 na po kami magpapaalam na. Maraming salamat for being with us today. Abangan niyo pa rin po ang ating programa. Mabati ninyo adlang tanan. Sugod adlang Lunes, taman adlang Domingo, 10:00 sa buntag, taman 2:00 sa hapon. Dinhina sa inyong paboritong radio station, ang Z-Radio 88.5 FM, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong Kuyaw.
O giya sa ngalan sa kinatibukang puwersa sa RBI DAP Division of Davao de Oro, inubanan sa atong mga maabi-abihon nga staff dinhi sa Z-Radio 88.5 FM. Kini niyo mga maestra o maestro sa kahanginan, ayaw Ma'am Maymay Resma.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Hangtod sa sunod higayon mga kazi, sa kanunay, dalaygon ang Diyos.
Smile, tuning na sa radio, been alive. Bisan na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, nga papuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan na sa man ka muadto.